Good morning, guys. Welcome to TMX Adventures. Lisa here. Hey, today we're going to make a really quick chocolate frappe. Now, if you like mocha, you can turn this into a mocha frappe, but I'm going to feed this to my kids as well, so we're not putting caffeine into it today, clearly. So say hi if you're watching on today. I'd love to know if you've got plans to make something in your Thermomix. What are you making today? Now, this is for those of you with a TM5, TM31, TM6. Doesn't matter. You could possibly do this in a blender, depending on the quality of your blender as well. So I'm going to make this manually, and hopefully those of you who don't normally do manual cooking, you will take away some skills and hints and tips to hopefully be able to get confidence to do that, so that you can just throw things in and spin the dial and make a milkshake or a frappe or something like that. Okay, I'm not going to use blend mode. I'm going to talk more about that in a second, so hang around to see that. This is going to take me 1 minute to do. All right, super quick. Now you'll notice I've already got ice in the bottom of the bowl. I've put in what we had left in our ice maker. It's kind of up to the blades, okay? It's not much. That's going to actually be part of the thickener that makes this like a frappe. I'm then going to put in, now you could use a nut milk, okay? I'm putting in long life. I'm going to put an entire litre in. I am making this for 6 people, yeah? So that's how I kind of judge it. If you're just making this for yourself, grab the cup you're going to use, put the ice in it, put a small scoop of ice in your cup, put the milk in to your cup, and then put it in your Thermomix, because that's going to froth up and make you like a really nice amount. Does that make sense? If you want just a 1 serve, okay? So that's what you do if you just want 1 serve. I'm going to make this a little bonus creamier, also because the cream expired yesterday. So I'm going to put some cream into it as well. I don't mind if there's a little bit of leftover cream. You know what? Let's just get rid of it. It's expired. There is a lump in there though. I want the lump. Why? It's just there. Look, you see it? It's just there. I'll cut it open in a minute and deal with that. The kids will probably argue over it anyway. When we buy our milk and it's got the cream top on it, they will scoop that out and share it out between themselves. Okay, so now the important part of how do we make it chocolate flavored, right? We are going to put into it some cocoa powder. I just have ordinary cocoa powder, okay? Nothing fancy. And I'm going to put in, it tends to be about half a tablespoon per person. I just have dessert spoons. You guys know I just guesstimate, yeah? Close enough, good enough, yeah? So I can hear some of you laughing. Okay. All right, so that's 1 tablespoon, very heaped dessert spoon. 2, look at the mess I made. I decided I'd embrace the festive spirit already, just a little bit more for bonus, because I spilled that one down the front. And do you like my banner? Changed it up a little bit. I've put on it, no lid yet, we haven't sweetened it. Put on it the Christmas stuff from the cooking class the other night. I shared that across to it. Put my QR code, which will land you on my website, which you can find lots of tools and inspiration. I even have courses. Now, I've not talked about them probably all year. This year's been crazy. We did our kitchen. You guys know that. You've been following along. And yeah, I don't think I've mentioned my courses this year. You'll even find courses that you can go buy and learn how to make cheeses, amazing cheeses in your Thermomix. There's a bread course. There's other ones that I have put up in that space, especially for those of you who are overseas, who don't necessarily have consultants over there to support you and look after you. That's what they're there for. But Australian customers too, you're welcome to them as well. All right, so, and they're very much me. This is how I present it. It's a video course supported with a book, an ebook. So it steps you through and it teaches you why things do what they do, which you guys know that's what I'm passionate about. Hang on a second. That kind of helped. All right, sideways, scales. Now this sweetening part depends on how much you like it to be sweet, yeah? This is so personal. I'm going to put in about, I find 10 grams per person I don't like going over that, whether they're making cakes or things like that. I'll try and keep it down to that. I'm using a monk fruit sweetener today. That's what I had on hand. You could use honey, you could use maple. Obviously the maple will throw a slightly different flavor. Something that I remember when I first got my Thermomix and everything was done in weight. I remember realizing how much sugar was in our food, and that was homemade food. This is not talking about like the stuff you buy has more sugar than the stuff you make. But I remember putting into a recipe, I really remember this, putting into a recipe what felt like an entire bag of sugar into a cake. And this was before we had online stuff. Like this is, I've had my Thermomix 11 years and I've been a consultant for all that time. And I remember going, wow, that's so much sugar in a cake. You know, you don't, I mean, you might realize when it's a cup, but when you're pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, it gives you that real realization of how much is going into things. Anyway, we've been on a journey with our sugar over the years. We still don't do a huge amount of it because I just don't think it's something we need a huge amount of. So TM6 owners, you have a blend mode. You can use this blend mode. They've recently upgraded it to speed 10, so you can go all the way up, and I would do 1 minute. And I'd walk away and put my kitchen back in order. Those of you who have a TM5, 31, or you want to do manual 6, which is great. Oh, by the way, TM6 owners, your blend mode is really important if you're making smoothies. Okay, if you are making something with multi-texture food in it. Okay, now think of a smoothie: frozen banana, frozen berries, yogurt, ice, juice, whatever, right? Think of all those different types of textures. The blend mode is important to protect your blades through those multi-textures. I have one main texture in here that it has to work through is ice. The rest is all liquid. It won't have any trouble with that. So, and then the Thermomix never has trouble, but you don't want it to be jarring your blades because it will wear the bearings out. That's where the key part of your machine that is designed to wear lives, is in the blade shaft. So don't make that mistake. Okay, so those of you with a TM6, it's important because your machine is so incredibly powerful that it's like, you've heard me say it, driving off at the traffic lights with your foot to the floor and you hit the pothole, the curb, and all of a sudden you've got broken axles, yeah? So same with, and you're not going to do it straight away. It won't be, you know, like if you're making that smoothie with all those textures and you spun it up to speed 10 and walked away, it's not going to be the first time. It's not going to break the first time. But if you're doing that every single morning for 365 days a year, you're going to find your bearings wear a lot faster. Which are in the blades, okay? Your blend mode doesn't have the pressure behind it. It actually has a bit of a release behind it. So as it goes up to speed and it hits things, it's not pushing that to, 10,500 revs behind it. It kind of has less behind pressure. So it goes easier on those blades. We have one different texture in here. Going up to speed 10 doesn't matter. Now TM5, TM31, your machines are not quite as powerful. You'll find it's not a challenge for you. If you do want to baby your machine, I know some of you have conversations, especially those of you with TM31s, you're like, oh, I want to make this last because I don't want it to die. The way around it is actually to go to speed 5 and then all the way up to 10. Okay, so that 5 gets rid of the main chunks, and again, it's not all that speed behind it, it's only half speed, and then go up to 10. All right, so, and again, it's really for multi-texture food. Okay, those things like, I don't know if you've ever tried to blend up frozen strawberries and berries and blueberries, but they are like blending marbles. Okay, they blend. The Thermomix has no trouble doing it, so I'm not talking about its ability to do it, but I'm talking about the fact that it's like, it's solid. You'd break your tooth on it, yeah? So, you know, and then you put that alongside that frozen banana, which has that different grippy kind of texture. If you've ever, you know, tried to chop frozen bananas, you know what I'm talking about. And then you got yogurt, so that's a bit thicker, and then you got maybe even water in there, and then you've got ice, so there's all these textures. So that, I'm referencing the textures, if that makes sense. If you've got questions on this, send me a message. I'll try and explain it better. But that's my thoughts on how you can make your blades last longer. Okay, so either blend mode for TM6, or if you're going to do it any other way and you want to kind of, yeah, it's 5 up to 10. All right, so we don't have to worry though, we don't have that much in. Let's go 1 minute. We're going to go all the way to speed 10. Now I'm going to check something. I have some very old lids that have little cracks in the seals. If I use that very old lid to make something that's of this volume, it will dribble. Didn't want it to dribble. I still use it for things like making cakes. It doesn't need to blend anything for more than 1 minute in your Thermomix. Usually 30 seconds, like if I'm making a soup, 30 seconds is all you need. So just running the stuff off the lid, don't want to let that go to waste. Now, I talked for a long time. My ice, no doubt, has melted in. You may find yours significantly thicker than mine, okay? I talked. There actually wasn't that much ice because the ice maker had been already used today. And all the cups are in the dishwasher, so I'm going with a jar. But you're going to get the idea of it, right? So this, I've got to say, is probably ending up more like a milkshake than a frappe because of that. Now, a couple of things. If this devastates you that it's not as thick as you'd like, put more ice in it. You know, at my capacity of that much in there, because I'm feeding 6 of us, I wouldn't go putting more ice in it, okay? But if you just made a single serve, put another scoop of ice in it and blitz it. It'll only take 30 seconds, blitz it all down. If you've got time and patience, I don't. I would grab this and I'd put it in my ice cube tray and I'd freeze it. And then you can blitz it up from frozen. It is beautiful. It's kind of, potentially it can go more like a sorbet, so it's not heavy like an ice cream, but you can make it into a beautiful, like very thick textured, probably beyond a frappe. You need to nearly find a happy medium in there, but you get the gist. But yes, I talked for a long time, and hence I have kind of like a thickened milkshake, kind of like a thick shake. But anyway, you get the idea. And I hope you've taken away some hints and tips for your Thermomix about how to protect your blades, how to manually use your Thermomix. I did put the timers on today to count down. If you've ever got a time on your machine or a temperature, and I mentioned this yesterday and I'll mention it again because sometimes we need to hear things a few times, just swipe them off. You can see the dusty cocoa on my screen. Remember with your screen, like you just wipe it off with a damp cloth, okay? Try and keep your screen and your machine nice and clean. It stops bugs wanting to make it its home, which you don't want, things moving in and eating the electrics out inside. It doesn't happen much these days, but it can happen, right? All right, guys, have a fantastic day. If I don't get to see you over the weekend, please take care in all you are doing. If I can help you with a Thermomix or someone you know, please reach out. You know I've said it before, please don't let anyone go to the website and buy without a consultant name entered. Okay, so it says add your consultant, that's where you go. Same if you're shopping in the mix shop. Thank you for those of you who do. And I am going to get my thank yous out, hopefully in the next couple of days. I did do a whole chunk a little while ago. A lot of you got emails from me on that, but I need to catch up again. I'm chasing my tail a little bit at the moment. But otherwise, I'm going to get this to the kids. They're waiting at the bench for it. I get a photo up for you guys, but that's how simple it is. And you can use milk powder if you preference. Just look at the ratio on the pack about how much powder to water. But that's another way, of course, you can make beautiful stuff that doesn't cost the earth. Like, how much would you pay for this at a shop? Like $6, and they'd put whipped cream on top. Whew, I might do that. I do have more cream that expired yesterday. So I might do that. Watch this space for the photo. But like, you can make it in your Thermomix. That 1 litre of milk cost me $1.60. Ice out of the thing. Yes, the cream was a little expensive. You don't need to use pure. You can use thickened if your preference, or you can leave it out altogether. The ice is what actually makes the thickness. The cream just makes it creamier. Cocoa powder you probably got, sugar you probably got, and whatever sweetener you want to use. So like, you can whip that up. You don't need to go pay $6 or $7 when you've got a Thermomix. That's how you save money with a Thermomix. All right, guys, I need to stop talking. Have a fantastic day. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.